Alright, so we're going to look at how to solve 5x to the 2/3 plus 11x to the 1/3 plus 2 equals to 0. So we have an equation that we're going to solve, and our goal is to make it in or write it in quadratic format. So we want to make sure that our equation is written in standard form, and this is what we have here. Now I purposely left the variable component empty because we're going to fill in that space. So let's look at step 2, where it says substitute a variable in for the expression that follows b. Well, what follows b in the equation is this x to the 1/3, because remember our quadratic format is ax squared plus bx plus c, b being the middle term. So we're looking at the expression that follows b in the second term. In other words, we're going to substitute the variable for what is in the parenthesis when we have it written in standard form. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that by letting u equals to x to the 1/3. Okay, now as we're using the variable u, you can use any variable. It can be t, it can be a, it can be d, it can be m, but let it be another variable other than x, because we already have x in the original equation. So we're going to substitute. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our x to the 1/3 here. Because we want to make these equations or each term equivalent. So now we're going to in turn let u equal to x to the 1/3. So let's rewrite this with using the variable u. So we have 5u squared plus 11u plus 2 equals to 0. And then we're going to solve. Now we can here again solve by the quadratic formula, completing the square, graphing, but I'm going to see if this can be factored. And I know that we can factor this, a trinomial. In our first term we have 5u squared, so we're going to break that down. We have 5u and u, and then the last term here, excuse me, is going to be 2, and factors of 2 we have 1 and 2. So when we FOIL the middle term, for us to get 11u, we multiply 1u, 1 in u, that's 1u, and then 5u times 2, that's 10u. We add those together, that would give us 11u. So positive signs. Then we're going to solve for u, meaning we're going to set each factor equal to 0. And then we're going to solve each equation. So I'll let you solve that, but I'm just going to go ahead and write the answer. We have for the first equation u would equal to -1/5, and then u would equal to -2. Now we're not finished, because the goal is to solve for x, and we have it in the format of u. So what we're going to do is replace u with x to the 1/3. X to the 1/3 is equal to negative 1/5. And then we have, for the second equation, x to the 1/3 is equal to negative 2. And then we're going to solve each of these. Okay, so how could we solve for x for each of these? Now, if you wanted to, you could take this x to the 1/3 and write it as a radical, as a cube root of x, and then cube both sides. And we will work that way, but to solve for x here, we're going to multiply both sides by 3. So on the left-hand side, the 3's cancel out, and then we have x is equal to the quantity of negative 1/3 to the 5th power, and then that would give us negative 1 over 125. And then our second equation, we're solving for x. We're going to cube both sides. Left-hand side, the 3's are going to cancel out, and we have x is equal to the quantity of negative 2 cubed. That would give us negative 8. And then we can go back and check our work. For time's sake, I'll let you check it on your own, but these are the solutions that we have for this example. Negative 1 over 125 and negative 8.